Hey guys, it's Aaron. Last video we showed you how to model a bag of chips using native commands, things like sandbox tools and move. This time we're going to take advantage of extensions to model a similar bag of chips. Probably won't be exactly the same, but a similar bag using a bunch of extensions to help go quicker and maybe give you some additional functionality. So we're going to model this bag of chips using extensions. So let's go ahead and hop right in. All right, so when we hop in here, we can see a couple things. Over here I have the extensions I'm going to use. Up top is Vertex Tools. Below that is Fredo Tools. And below that is Soap, Skin, and Bubble. So I'm going to start by creating my initial geometry with a rectangle. So I'm just going to use a regular old rectangle. I'm going to draw it right here. Looks good. It's about the shape of my other bag of chips. I'm going to select that geometry, and then I'm going to hit the Generate Skin button in Soap Skin. All right, 10 divisions. I'm going to try bumping up a little bit, get a little more fidelity in there. All right, 14 looks good. I'm going to hit Enter. And now what I'm going to do is select on. So when you create the skin in Soap Bubble, it does create a new set of geometry. So I don't actually need that original rectangle anymore. This is all I really need. So what I can do then is take this geometry and apply a force to it. So by selecting that grid and then hitting the bubble button, I can now enter a pressure. Let's try something like a pressure of 50 and hit Enter. That looks like a little overstuffed for our bag of chips, so maybe we'll dial that down to how about 35? All right, that looks more like it. That looks better. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Enter to accept that. And now you can see I'm already way quicker, way further along than I was last time. I can take that, and just like I did in the other bag of chips, I'm going to use Move to make a copy of that. I will use the handles to flip it over, and then I will put it on top of the original. So one thing we didn't have to worry about was realigning these edges, because one of the things that Soap Skin does is it holds the edges and applies forces to the rest of the surface, so I don't get any warping or movement on the edges. I'm going to grab both pieces, explode them, and there you go. Now I have a single piece there. All right, so it looks pretty good. Now I want to do a couple things. I want to add some irregularity. This is a little bit too, I don't know, too pretty. It's too perfect. And I also want to get these kind of crinkles along the side. So I'm going to do that using Vertex Tools. So I'm going to start similar to what I did on the other bag. I'm going to grab these edge pieces, and instead of using Move, I'm going to grab Vertex Tools. When I first click Vertex Tools, you can see what it does. It gives me a dot on every vertex, every point in the model, and the ones I selected are turned red. And you'll notice there's kind of an aura around them of different colors. So what happens is it's going to fade from red back to blue. Blue are not going to move when I grab this widget and move it, but the other ones, the yellows and greens, are going to move a little bit. Similar to the tool when we used in Sandbox Tools, when we use Smooth, I do have a soft select radius right here. It's currently set to 3 feet, so let's just see what happens when I drag that and move it in. Look at that. That was all one step, and it basically gave us almost exactly what we had over here. Again, there's no irregularity because I just grabbed one piece, but now I can come in here and grab a smaller piece. You just grab like that, move that in or out, but much quicker, much easier to do that similar steps. I could do the same thing here. Let me do the other edge real quick, and then we'll come in and mess with the middle a little bit. I'm going to slide this in. Maybe grab these guys down here, slide them in. Even pull some pieces back out if I want to, just like I did in the other one. Real quick and easy way to modify that geometry. Now maybe in the middle, maybe I'll come in here and grab like this. Instead of using Move this time, it did select all the way through. I'm going to use the Scale tool to just kind of squish the bag in a little bit in the middle. Maybe I'll just grab some more points right here. Do the same thing, just kind of slide it in, give myself a little bit of a dimple, kind of going for, just an irregular shape. Kind of cool if I selected an angle like this, I get them on the front here and then further back here, so when I scale that, it's not going to give me, an even, both sides are poking out the same spot. It's actually going to give me irregularity between the front and back, the top and bottom. All right, so that looks pretty good. If I triple click right there, I'm going to come in here and toggle smoothing on and off again. Man, we are pretty close to where we were at about 7 or 8 minutes into this model, and we're only a couple minutes in. Show one more extension here, and that is going to be in Fredo Tools. Fredo Tools is a great set of extensions. It actually has a whole bunch of mini extensions. It's a whole suite here. The one I want to look at in this particular model is ThruPaint. So ThruPaint allows me to pick a material. I'll just pick off of this existing one and then paint it onto this surface. Now at first it seems, whoa, that's a little off, a little awkward, a little weird, but what I can do is I can actually enter this visual edition mode, and this is going to allow me to do things like, okay, let's get this spun around so it's facing the right direction, and then we'll actually grab it and move it. This is not things you can do on a broken mesh like this in regular SketchUp. In SketchUp I can do this on a single surface, but if I want to do it on a mesh like this, I have to adjust the projected image and then come back and reapply it. So this is only a piece of what ThruPaint does. It gets into UV mapping and a whole bunch of other stuff that honestly I don't really get that well. But you can see, just for that purpose right there of applying that texture to that mesh, well worth the work, well worth the download of that free extension if you do any kind of texture mapping on irregular surfaces. Okay, so in there in just a couple minutes we've modeled that whole bag of chips like a fraction of the time of what we took with the native tools. So we have a little extra time now, so I've got time to kill now. I'm not sure, I usually have this problem. It went too fast. All right, I guess we'll call it there. But did you like that video? Did it help you? Did you learn something new? Let us know down in the comments below what you thought. Give us a like or maybe even subscribe. Or tell us about some other extensions you'd like to see or maybe some workflows you'd like to hear more about. We like making videos, but we like them best when they do the things that you want to see. Thank you.